Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be looking at one of my new predictions, but this is just not any ordinary prediction. This is my 2024 presidential election prediction if only the third party candidates ran. And these only include really the top 5 third party candidates. The most well known, obviously, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the independent. There's Green Party candidate Jill Stein, Libertarian candidate Chase Oliver, another independent candidate, Cornel West, and Constitution Party candidate, Randall Terry. So, not just, we are not going to be doing margins today because that would just be a bit too complicated. So, we are just going to go from East Coast to West Coast. In Maine's 2nd District, I think Kennedy would carry this. He's already polling really well in Maine's 2nd. And I just think that Kennedy will be able to pull it off. Maine's 1st District, I think it's going to go to Chase Oliver. Chase Oliver, although the Libertarian Party is supposed to be really a mix of conservatism and liberalism, Chase Oliver is really just a liberal candidate, and I think he would win the liberal Maine 1st Congressional District. So I would think Kennedy does slightly pull off in Maine at large. Next, let's go to New Hampshire, which is basically the same as Maine. I do think Kennedy does pull it off here. In Vermont, I think it goes to Chase Oliver because it's a very democratic version of New Hampshire and Maine. So I think Chase Oliver would be able to slightly pull this off. Now let's go to Massachusetts. I have Massachusetts for Jill Stein. This is her home state, and she does have quite appeal here because of how progressive it is, and it is one of those center grounds of basically the Green Party at large. Now let's go to Connecticut and Rhode Island. I have these as Chase Oliver territory because these are basically just Vermont once again, except that I do think these could be slightly more competitive than something like Vermont, but I do think that these do stay as Chase Oliver. I do think Jill Stein slightly pulls it off in the massive state, 28 electoral votes in New York, as well as in New Jersey. Just because it's very similar to Massachusetts, and I think that Jill Stein also has major appeal in New York and New Jersey because, remember, the Green Party is all about climate change and peace, and I feel like that would work there with how progressive these two states are. Now let's go to Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania would go to Chase Oliver slightly, just because I think Pennsylvania is kind of liberal, and I feel like Randall Terry, he's an extremist, conservative. He would not have appeal in Pennsylvania unless you're talking about the rural areas. Cornel West, I could see him having some appeal in the suburban white votes and having appeal to minorities. I feel like he comes 2nd or 3rd. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does do very well in Pennsylvania, but I am going to give that to Chase Oliver. It's the same in Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. Really just because Maryland and Delaware, they're just more liberal than Pennsylvania. Virginia's also more liberal than Pennsylvania, but obviously more competitive, but I do have these states for Chase Oliver. Now let's go to the South. North Carolina, I feel like would go to Cornel West. Cornel West, he would appeal to at least some of that city vote, as well as many suburban voters, as well as minorities. So I think he would slightly pull it off in North Carolina. Randall Terry, I have him winning a lot of southern states because of his Christian, extremist, conservative policies. And these are the states I have for Randall Terry in the South. I have Chase Oliver winning Georgia, his home state. Florida, I have it going for Kennedy, as well as Texas, because these two states, I feel like they just really need some reform, and I guess they'll find that from someone like Robert F. Kennedy, who's not even that much of a liberal Democrat. Okay, now let's go to Hawaii. I have that going for Chase Oliver, only because of how liberal it is. I feel like Kennedy would be really close here. Jill Stein, I think she gets 3rd place here. Alaska, I have it going for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's obviously that reform independent candidate guy. In Alaska, their voter base is like really independent. They they don't really vote for the same party every single time, and I feel like it would most likely go to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now let's go to the Midwest. The Midwest is extremely independent. I don't even think a Constitution candidate. Sorry, I don't think Randall Terry, an extremist, will be able to pull it off in these independent Midwestern states. I know in these elections it seems like they're so freaking Republican, but uh, when there's third party candidates involved, it can get Ross Perot did really well in these Midwestern states. So yeah. So I think Randall Terry, he will probably pull off in a couple of these, like Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, Nebraska. I think Kennedy does win Nebraska second, and Chase Oliver wins Nebraska's. Sorry, I have Terry winning Nebraska's third, Kennedy winning Nebraska's first, and Oliver winning Nebraska's second. Overall, I think Kennedy will win the two at-large electoral votes. Now let's go to the Midwest. We're starting in Minnesota. Minnesota is the most liberal of these blue wall states, which is why I have them going for Oliver. Wisconsin, I have it going to Cornel West, because Cornel West, he's really the only not that extreme conservative here. In Wisconsin, it's trending right, so I do think West will be able to win Wisconsin. Randall Terry, I'm actually going to give him Kentucky, Indiana, and Missouri, as well as Iowa, because these are also very Christian states, conservative states, and as well as West Virginia. Now, I think Kennedy will be able to pull it off in West Virginia, because we all know him as a Democrat. Well, not anymore, but he's a very independent candidate and has high appeal in these independent states, including West Virginia. Michigan, I also have it going for Chase Oliver. Just a teeny bit less liberal than Minnesota and a teeny bit more liberal than Pennsylvania. So that's why I have it going for Chase Oliver. Kennedy, I think he would also be able to pull it off, possibly in Ohio as well. I do have Stein winning in Illinois because it's very similar to New York. And since I have New York going for Stein, that's why I have Illinois going for Stein. Now let's go to Colorado. I have Colorado going Kennedy, as well as Nevada, Arizona, Utah. I have Chase Oliver winning New Mexico. And we'll do the three last states in a bit. So Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, they also went for Ross Perot by a lot of points. Very independent states. Yeah, Utah, we see it as a hardline Republican state, but no, that's not that true at all. When there's an independent candidate involved, Utah could possibly get competitive. That's why I have Kennedy winning Utah. Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, they're all kind of competitive, and I think Kennedy has more appeal in these states than these other candidates. Now let's go to California. I feel like Cornel West will finally get a big win in California. It is his home state. He has pretty good appeal here. I feel like the liberal vote will be split too much by Oliver and Kennedy, because I feel like the Californian voter base is just too divided. Let's go to Oregon. Oregon, I have it going for Kennedy, and Washington, I have it going for Oliver. Actually, let's also phone DC. I have that going for Oliver. So we have our results. We have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in first place, 158 electoral votes. We have Chase Oliver in second place, 126 electoral votes. We have Randall Terry, Constitution Party, in third place, 102 electoral votes. We have independent candidate Cornel West with 80 electoral votes. We have Jill Stein, Green Party, 72 electoral votes. So this is my 2024 presidential election prediction if Donald Trump and Joe Biden do not run. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.